fans. WTF? A female silver surfer? Marvel is just too woke now. I won't be walking. Actually, FYI, Shalabal existed long before UK, created in 1968, and at some point became a Silver Surfer. He was Lauren Rags, the original Silver Surfer's wife. Hi. Magnanimously erect sophisticated gynecologist, by the way. Do the thing, please.
I describe the Ms. male character trope as a female version of an already established or default male character. Ms. male characters are defined primarily by their relationship to their male counterparts, via their visual properties, their narrative connection, or occasionally through promotional materials. This trope is of course part of a long tradition in visual storytelling. The process of creating Ms. male characters out of pre-existing male heroes has been especially popular in animation and comic books over the past century. The message is clear. Boys are the norm, girls the variation. Boys are central, girls peripheral. Boys are individuals, girls types. Boys define the group, its story, and its code of values. Girls exist only in relation to boys. With that in mind, let's come back to Ms. Pac-Man for a moment. One of the core consequences of the Ms. male character trope is that it helps to define women by their connection to men. So despite her tagline, more than Pac-Man with a bow,
Honey, don't you know I'm more than Pac-Man with a bow?
Ms. Pac-Man's visual properties are simply an extension of Pac-Man's original design. She actually kind of is just Pac-Man with a bow. Essentially, Ms. male characters are feminized imitations or derivative copies of already established male characters.
That name better not stick. It's so dumb. I can't even exist without being a derivative of the Hulk.
They exist only because of and in relationship to their male counterparts. Ms. male characters typically aren't given their own distinctive identities and are prevented from being fully realized characters who exist on their own terms. This has the perhaps unintended effect of devaluing these characters and often relegating them to subordinate or secondary status inside their respective media franchises, even when they are on rare occasion given a starring role in a spin-off or sequel. One very old and notable example of the Ms. male character trope comes to mind. As the story goes, God made Adam in his own image and then later took a rib from Adam's side and fashioned a woman out of it to be his wife and companion. This Adam and Eve version of the creation myth reinforces a subordinate view of women. Man is cast as the original concept and source code for woman, who is derived from his body. Essentially, Eve is a sequel to Adam, just as Ms. Pac-Man was built from the body of Pac-Man who came before her. In a male-identified society like ours, men are associated and become synonymous with human beings in general. In other words, male tends to be seen as the default for the entire species. Both the Smurfette principle and the Ms. male character tropes create scenarios that reinforce a false dichotomy, wherein male is associated with the norm, while female is associated with a deviation from the norm. Both the Ms. male character and the Smurfette principle have been normalized in gaming and in mass media more broadly. So much so that the two tropes usually pass under the radar and are often reproduced unconsciously, which is part of what makes the myths they perpetuate about women so powerful and insidious in our culture.
So, leftoid. Care to explain why your side of the political and autistic spectrum seemingly switched their attitude on female versions of pre-existing male characters? Because it 1000% cannot be that y'all are a bunch of spineless worms that drift between opinions no matter how contradictory they are, so long as they possess some political advantage to you. You know, like what a grifter does. That would just be crazy. But what do I know? I'm just the messenger.